This tutorial video explains the main components of the DHS program's CodeShare library on GitHub. Anyone that has downloaded DHS datasets from our website can use the code available on GitHub. The DHS program CodeShare library was started in 2018 to provide code for producing DHS indicators listed in the Guide to DHS Statistics using a statistical software like Stata or SPSS. To begin, let's go to github.com/DHSprogram. You do not need to create a GitHub account to copy or download any code. It is publicly available for anyone to use. On this main page, you can find the DHS repositories. A repository is a space to organize a single project and contains all the files and folders for that project. When you click on the Repositories tab, you will see all the repositories available in the DHS program CodeShare library. This video will explain the contents of the Stata and SPSS repositories. Let's first take a look at the Stata repository. In each repository, there are many folders and files with different resources to help data users. Starting with the leftmost column, we see folders with chapter names from Chapter 2 to Chapter 19. These chapters are standard chapters in a DHS final report and are described in the Guide to DHS Statistics. Moving to the right, you will see a description of the last update made for the folder and the time the update was made. Scroll down past the chapter folders to find important instructions and information for data users. One important file to explore is the indicator list. This is an Excel file that lists the indicator name and label description for each variable. It is organized by chapter in separate worksheets. To download the file, click on the name, and then click Download on the right. Once you open the file, you can see the worksheets organized by chapter name, and for each chapter, a list of indicator names and the code file that contains these indicators. Let's click on the tab for Chapter 7, which presents family planning indicators. Starting on the left, Column B lists the different code files available for the chapter. Column C lists the variable names that can be constructed from each corresponding code file. Column D contains the variable labels. Column E indicates the data file. And column F contains any important notes about the indicator. Going back to the Stata library on GitHub, where we found the Excel indicator list, there are also important README files with instructions for users. Please read the instructions before trying to use the code provided in the CodeShare library. For example, the README file contains a table that describes the two-letter acronyms used for chapter names. The README file also contains a link to the Guide to DHS Statistics for more information about these chapters and how the indicators from each chapter are measured and defined. Now let's explore the contents of one of the chapters. Let's continue with Chapter 7, the Family Planning chapter. Here we see the contents of the folder. Each chapter always has a main code file. In this chapter, it is called fpmain.do. This main file lists all the code files used in the chapter and contains explanatory notes. The Family Planning chapter has 6 different code files that produce different sets of indicators. You can open one of the code files to see what indicators it produces, or you can refer to the Excel indicator list we looked at earlier. For instance, if we click on the fpno.do file, we see the list of indicators produced by this file, followed by the code to produce these indicators. The same components shown in the Stata repository are also found in the SPSS repository. Let's take a quick look. First, click on DHS Program up top to get back to the main page of the CodeShare library. You can access the SPSS repository through the Repositories tab, or here on the main page in Popular Repositories. In the SPSS repository, you can see the same components we saw in the Stata repository: the chapter folders, the Excel indicator list, and the README file. The only difference is that these folders contain SPSS code instead of Stata code. For instance, if we click on the Chapter 7 folder, again we see the SPSS code files that correspond to the same Stata code files we saw earlier. If we click one of the files, we see the list of indicators produced by this file, followed by the code to produce these indicators. The purpose of this video was to give a tour of the main components of the DHS Program CodeShare library on GitHub, including an overview of the Stata and SPSS repositories. Check out our other videos, like tutorials on how to use the code from the DHS Program CodeShare library in Stata and SPSS.